Hello everyone, my name is Arun Poddar. So today I am going to discuss about unit number 5, the memory system, lecture number 35. Let us go through the contents that we are going to discuss in this video. We are going to discuss about synchronous DRAMs. Now, what are synchronous DRAMs? The beside figure shows a diagram of a simple synchronous DRAM. Now, DRAMs whose operation is directly synchronized with the clock signal is called as synchronous DRAMs. So, as you have studied in the previous slide, that is what are dynamic RAMs. Now, if the dynamic RAMs operation will be synchronized with the clock signal, that is the working is synchronized with the clock signal, then it is called as a synchronized DRAMs. So the figure indicates the structure of a SDRAM. The cell array is arranged in rows and columns. The address and data connections are buffered by means of registers. So as you can see here, the cell array is arranged in rows and columns. As you can see, there is a box called as cell array. In it, the cells are arranged in rows and columns. Now whatever the address and data connections are buffered by means of registers. Now a read operation causes the contents of all cells in the selected row to be loaded into the latches. So if a read operation comes on all the cells in a selected row, it will be loaded into the latches. If SS operation is used for refreshing purpose only, it will only change the contents of these latches. It will only refresh the contents of the cells. So what it means is, suppose if you want to access some content from the cell and it is used for only refreshing purposes, or then it will not change the contents of these latches. That is, it will only change the contents of the cells. The contents of the latches remain constant. Now SDRAMs have several different modes of operation. So it can be selected by writing a control information into the mode register. Now the burst operations uses the block transfer capability. Now in SDRAMs, the necessary control signals are provided internally using a column counter. So there is a column counter and a clock signal to select the successive columns, that for what columns we are synchronizing the operations. Here you can show there is a timing diagram of a burst read operation in the synchronous DRAM. First, the row address is latched under the control of the signal. Now this row address is latched using the RAS signal. The memory typically takes 2 to 3 clock cycles to activate the select row. Now it will take about 2 to 3 cycles to activate that select row after we send the RAS signal. Then the column address is latched under the control of the signals. So once the selected row is selected, then the column address is again also latched under the control of the signal. Now after a delay of 1 clock cycle, first set of data bits is placed on the data line. So once a 1 clock cycle is completed, the first set of data will be placed on the data line. Now SDRAM automatically increments the column address so that it can access the next 3 set of bits in the selected row, which means once we have accessed all the data from the given column, it will increment the next column. To go to the next column, it will increment the address of the column so that it can access the next 3 sets of bits in the selected row, which are again placed on the data line in the next 3 clock cycles. SDRAMs have built-in refresh circuitry. That is, a part of this circuitry is the refresh counter. Now this refresh counter, it provides the address of the rows that are selected for refreshing. So this refresh counter will select only those rows that has to be refreshed. Commercial SDRAMs can be used with clock speeds over 100 megahertz. I'll go to about the latency and bandwidth. Now, the performance of the computer system is given by two parameters, that is latency and bandwidth. The term memory latency is used to refer the amount of time taken to transfer a word or data to or from the memory, which means what amount of time you take to transfer a data from a given processor to memory and memory to processor. So that time it's called as a latency. So in case of reading or writing a single word of data, the latency provide a complete indication of memory performance. So latency will tell what kind of performance it gives for while reading or writing a data. In case of burst operation that transfers a block of data, the time needed to complete the operation also depends on the rate at which successive words are transferred. Now, it not only depends on the latency, it also depends how much fast the block of data will transfer. That is, at what rate the successive words are transferred. Now, this time is longer than the time needed to transfer each subsequent word or a block. That is, for example, in the time diagram, you can see a SS cycle begins with the assertion of a signal. Now, the first word of data is transferred 5 clocks later. So, as you can see here, after the 5 clocks, the next word will be transferred. Next, go to double data rate SDRAM. Now, similar memory device is similar memory device to the SDRAM, that is which assesses the cell array on the rising edge of the signal, but it transfer data on both edges of the clock. So the latency is same as for standard SDRAMs. Now, since they transfer data on both edges of the clock, their bandwidth is essentially doubling for longer burst transfer. So such a device are known as double data rate. So bandwidth will be more. Now, to assess the data at the higher enough rate, the cell array will be organized in two banks, that is each bank can be assessed separately. Consecutive words of a given block are stored in different banks, that is such interleaving of words allows simultaneous access to two words that are transferred on successive edges of the clock, which means consecutive words one after the other of a given block will be stored in different banks. So such interleaving allows simultaneous accessing of two words at the same time. So in this video we have studied about what is synchronous DRAMs, timing diagram of burst read. Thank you.